Yo, what is up, Kings? I got a fun one for you guys today. I was scrolling through Twitter, and I'm surprised No Jumper posted this, but I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. I think there's a lot of people who are trying to jump on the bandwagon that is the red pill and red pill ideology or manosphere type stuff. Even if they don't believe in this stuff, they try and post red pill type stuff in order to get clicks and engagement. I'm gonna play it in the background. I'm not gonna share the screen, but I'm gonna play her thing in the background. Last time I did this, it actually picked up the sound quite well, so we're gonna try it again. Hey, I don't know about you guys, but I always get Cardi B and Nicki Minaj confused. I think that that's a fairly normal thing for a heterosexual man to not necessarily know who Cardi B is versus Nicki Minaj. But anyways, I digress. Let's listen to what she has to say here.
These bitches that don't have nothing, they have to tolerate everything. Like these bitches, like if a nigga do some fuck shit, the next day the bitch.
And by the way, yes, she definitely drops quite a few N-bombs. So anyways.
Who's gonna answer the phone? You do some fuck shit to me, I'm putting you on fucking yellow, nigga. You want.
And I'm gonna repost it. If you guys want to go to my Twitter and watch the video there yourself, you can.
This is where you at. This is where you at. If you fuck up on ice, nigga. And I feel like niggas don't take that. Like I said, I know a boy, I know a guy that he literally rich motherfucker, and he literally told me to my face, I'd rather deal with 7 and 8 than a 10. They literally told me that shit in my face because they just like one little thing and they're off. Like one little thing is like they just don't feel like they gotta compete. They gotta feel like they're already picking. And it's crazy that this how men are feeling. It's crazy how that's how men are thinking nowadays. Like it's like nah, like these 10s are not trying to compete. They're just trying to get picked. Like the 7 and 8s, they're gonna do what you say, and it's crazy. Like,
so she actually looks like a huge scrub in this video. She fucking has her hair all. She's probably not even wearing real hair. She looks like she just rolled out of bed. I want to listen to the beginning part again.
these bitches that don't have nothing, they have to tolerate everything. Like these bitches, like if a nigga do some fuck shit, the next day the bitch is gonna answer the phone. You do some fuck shit to me, I'm putting you on fucking yellow, nigga. You want this. This is where you at. This is where you at. If you fuck up. On ice.
And she's using a cup with ice in it.
I know a boy, I know a guy that he literally rich motherfucker, and he literally told me to my face, I'd rather deal with 7 and 8.
So let's talk about this. I think most guys who watch this would get it incorrect. I'm gonna type in the background and see if Cardi B is married. Let's see, Cardi B. So the thing is, apparently she's married to a guy named Offset. So the thing is that the men that she is talking about are high earning men. Okay, I've told you guys before, I don't like the phrase high value man, but for the sake of saying it, for lack of a better term, that is what she's referring to. A man that other women want. Whether that is because they have a lot of resources, whether that's because they are a full-blown Chad or a Tyrone, whatever the case, or a combination of things, or they're super funny. There's a litany of factors. I would guess to say that it's probably more the money route and or the Chad and Tyrone route. But that's who she's dealing with. Okay, that is not necessarily the norm. And this is where women like Cardi B get it wrong, is they think that the top earning men, and let me go back a little bit. my distinction that I make from the term high value man is I call, to me, it's either you're a quality man or you're not a quality man. Okay. I did a video in the past detailing what this is, but for me, there's factors that go into it, such as, are you an ambitious man? Are you an honorable man? Do you stand on what you believe in? Can people count on you? Are you disciplined? Are you the person that people commonly call when they know that they need something done or need help with, and they know they can count on you? Those types of things go into it, on top of being a Christian and being a God-fearing man. So women like Cardi B commonly get this wrong because they are surrounded by the highest earning, chattiest of the Chad men that society has to offer. Okay. And they make the mistake, the categorization of assigning what these top tier men are able to do with the rest of men, the rest of society. Okay. And when I say top tier, I am saying men that are top 10, if not top 5% on any of the major attractive scales, okay, or attraction points for women. Either attractiveness, physical attractiveness. That what would go into that is like being above 6 foot, being muscular, having a good physique, being toned and athletic. There's different variations within that. You can be a more like bodybuilder, big guy, or like more of a water polo slash endurance sport physique guy, where you're kind of shredded but you still have some muscle. And then you would have the financial side of things. You can be top 5. I would say financials, if you're top 10%, you're probably doing really good. I would expound that to 10%. For looks, I'd probably say more like top 5%. Are you super funny? Do you have really good game? What the percentages on that is, I'm not sure. And like I said, or do you have a combination of a few of them? That is who she is dealing with. The rest, and regardless of whether it's 5 or 10%, the rest of men would be like, I would say anywhere from 70 to 80% of men, okay? They, by and large, are not able to command this sort of mentality. Now, the average man can still have respect for himself. He can still have respect for his time, for his resources, for his energy, for his attention, and set boundaries. But the average man is not going to be able to, be Donald Draper out there, who is, commanding this sort of lifestyle where they can sleep with this woman, this woman, this woman, this woman. And I know there's going to be some of you guys who watch this video and go, well, I know this one guy who he has multiple girls that he's talking to. Okay, well, that could be either because he's not telling those women, okay, which, fair enough. I myself have done that in my past, and I don't recommend doing that because, number one, as a Christian, it's not a very Christian thing to do. And number two, it's kind of a cowardly thing to do, because you kind of know deep down inside that you might be quality enough to have multiple women, but you're not quality enough to have all of those women with them knowing that you're talking to other women. But even still, it doesn't fall within the Christian paradigm of ethics for me. Or they are indeed, like I already mentioned, a top 5 to 10% man in any of the major categories, okay? There's going to be very few of you who can actually give me an example of a average to not in the top 10 to 5 to 10 5 5 to 10% of men category, where you can give me an example where they are doing what she's talking about. You're not going to be able to find it. Because it doesn't really exist. But again, you can still have boundaries, you can still have respect for yourself, and you can still not be a fucking SIMP when it comes to dealing with women. The other thing with what she said that she has incorrect is she thinks that she is different because she's a woman that puts a brother on ice if they step out or do some fuckboy shit on her. And it's just not, again, it's just not accurate. Let me start here, okay? For all intents and purposes, Cardi B's spouse probably earns a decent living, and he doesn't look to be a terrible looking guy, okay? He looks like he's taller than her. I don't know exactly how tall he is, but he's skinny, he's in shape, so not bad, okay? Just because a man makes a lot of money doesn't mean that they're not beta, SIMPs in their head. In fact, there's a lot of men who are high earners that are that type of way because they either were raised by a single mom, and especially, he's a black man. There's a high, I don't know his history, but there's a high probability that he was raised by a single mother. And so a lot of these guys, either by being dorks or by being plugged in to the Matrix, as many men are, or by way of having a single mother, although they are high earners, they still have that type of mentality, and they don't realize their worth as men. Now, again, me saying that is not advocating for men to be with multiple women at once. It's merely saying that men who know their worth and really are high status would not be okay with their woman saying some type of shit like this, and it wouldn't be accurate, okay? They would know, both of them would know that if he wanted to, he'd be able to go out and command basically whatever he wanted because he is a more valuable commodity in the sexual marketplace than she is, okay? So, but I don't know too much about Offset, so I'm not going to really speak about him. The other thing is that, and the red pill space always talks about this, as women earn more money, they get this kind of inflated, artificial sense of self-worth because the things that they find attractive in a man, they themselves became that man in a lot of regards that they were looking to find to be their partner. And now that they actually are that person, and they happen to be, and they actually find a man that's dumb enough to take them on because they're probably fairly masculine, like Cardi B absolutely is, and very slutty and hoey and stuff like that. They still have all these attributes, and on top of that, the attributes that led them to become the man that they wanted in a relationship, now as they earn more and more and more money, their expectation, because women tend to be hypergamous, continues to elevate in the type of man that they want. And especially this is true if they really are masculine women, okay? As the red pill commonly says, there's no such thing as alpha women. There are only masculine women. And so somebody like Cardi B kind of has the coup d'etat, the perennial worst case scenario. And I know she has a spouse, again, there's always a dumb enough man that might be the exception to the rule, okay? But it doesn't disprove the rule. She has a sense, a hugely inflated sense of self-worth, okay? And I guarantee she thinks that within who she is, who is Cardi motherfucking B, that no man can cheat on her or whatever the case may be because she is this stellar woman who is this, that, and the other. Okay. Now, that might be true to some men. Like I said, the simp dorky men, it might be true to a certain extent, that they see the wealth that she has and see the position in society that she has, and it might influence it a little bit, just a wee bit. Again, that's only for the simpy, dorky type men. But overall, it doesn't matter that much. And in the end, what is going to keep her man loyal is how she acts within the relationship and how much she's able to maintain her looks, okay, her beauty. But as soon as that runs out, she could just as easily become the women that she's talking about. That's that 7 or 8 that gets, cheated on. And she, within what she said, and this is probably the most important thing. Let me find it so I can use it as an example here. I'm gonna play this last little part of it again.
Everything. Like these bitches, like if a nigga do some fuck shit, the next day the bitch is gonna answer the phone. You do some fuck shit to me, I'm putting you on fucking.
Now again, she's referring to 7s and 8s. Now here's the reality of the situation. Cardi B herself is probably a 7 or 8, but because of how much money she makes, and because of her position in society, and because she does all these hoary, disgusting, sexually explicit videos and probably does get a lot of attention from men that she could care less about, she has this massively inflated sense of self-worth. But make no mistake, she is barely a 7. I personally, I don't even think she's a 7 or 8. I mean, most of what we see is her being totally caked up and dolled up. I mean, yes, there are some men that like her curvy features, but I think by and large, she'd probably be rated like a 6, maybe a 7 pushing it. And so in the end, that's what's going to matter the most when it comes to her relationship. So it's very interesting to see women kind of being awakened to the shift in mindset from masculine men who they actually do want, real masculine men that are successful, ambitious, and want to do well in life, but still they have this initial reaction, the feminism within them comes out. Instead of just saying, you know what, that's a man's nature, and you know what, I do want a man like that. I want a strong man. And you know what? If that's what strong men tend to want, if they want a submissive woman, then that's what I'm going to try and be. I'm going to try and be a soft woman. Okay. Now, again, there is an idiot born every single second of the day, unfortunately. Maybe not that much, but close to it. And Offset very well could be one of those beta provider type guys. Okay. Even though he does, single mom mentality. But overall, she misses the mark because of her overinflated sense of self-worth when it comes to her value on the sexual marketplace. I'll put it to you this way. If Cardi B wasn't Cardi B, and she didn't have the money, and it was just her looks, do you think that she'd still be able to command the same stuff with Offset? Probably not. Now, that does kind of speak to, because a lot in the red pill space, a lot of red pill guys say that men don't care about how much money a woman makes, and I believe that that's true by and large. Okay, but there are exceptions to the rule, and there are men here or there that do take it into consideration because they do have that feminization within them that kind of restrains their true masculinity from getting out. But it's just interesting to see the the impulsive response that these modern women have. And you will be hard pressed to find a more masculine woman than Cardi B. Now, we don't know what she is behind the scenes. There's a very good chance, because I've heard Myron talk about this, there's a very good chance that she's very feminine behind the scenes, that she's very soft and womanly and dare I say even submissive behind the scenes. But nonetheless, women like her purport to the masses this: you don't need no man, you can't put up with any bullshit from a man, you can't, if he's sneaking behind your back, then you're too good for him, or whatever the case may be. No. A quality man is the prize. And ultimately, if you're not a Christian, then who are you to say that a man who's a quality man cannot go around looking for multiple women? I can say that because I'm Christian. I'm an Orthodox Christian. And within my frame of ethics, that is not acceptable. We believe in monogamy. But, I can almost guarantee that she is not a Christian. But we live in this world currently where we have a world that is foundationally Christian, and there's so many things that are foundationally Christian, but there's this parasite, this cancer that has seeped in by way of feminism that kind of has these contrasting worldviews. There's so many women who kind of instinctually want the marriage, want to be a wife. Women want the wedding. There's a lot of modern women who want the wedding but don't want to be wives. But that's a different subject for a different day. But in theory, they want those things because there is this underpinning of actual Christianity, Christian ethics within them, and within the Western society that we live in. That is what even gets implanted into their mind and gives them that grain of thought beforehand to even think about things like this. But then the overriding contradiction is the feminism, which also tells them that while they can be married, they also shouldn't cook for a man. They shouldn't clean for a man. They shouldn't be submissive and soft and gentle. And we really do currently live in a world where so many men and women have these conflicting ideologies that are constantly at odds with each other. And that's why our society really is kind of going through a revolution of sorts, a battle of ideology, as it were, because they are at odds, and in the end only one can prevail. So, but anyways, this kind of went a little bit different than I expected, but the main thing, I just kind of wanted to listen to this and show you this. It says Cardi B claims men prefer less attractive women because they are more submissive than perfect 10s. And I guarantee Cardi B thinks she's a perfect 10, but by and large, I agree with that statement 100%. Men absolutely, for relationships, will absolutely take a cute, but maybe not hot, soft, gentle, feminine woman who doesn't have a ton of bodies on her sheet than a 10 out of 10 model who has the personality of Cardi B. Notice I didn't say Cardi B was a 10 because she's not. Who has the personality of a Cardi B and the roster sheet, the notches in the bedpost that Cardi B has. A majority of men would prefer that. Except for, again, like I said, these men, these men who were raised by single mothers, which is increasingly a lot more, unfortunately, and dork, nerdy, beta type men who don't have a ton of experience with women. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're really getting close to 1,000 subscribers. moving forward, I'm going to try and start getting some more political videos in here. I think I've done a good job the last year of kind of doing a little bit of both. But I'm going to try just for the next week or two to do a little bit more politics than interpersonal, intersexual dynamic videos. All right, guys. See you guys next time. And last but not least, DBAP, don't be a pussy, will out in facts or feelings, because your feelings just don't matter. I love you, kings. Stay safe. Christ is king. Peace.